Well, what we're not going to do is further proclaim this individual's pledges of allegiance to terrorist groups and further his propaganda.
Part of the redacting is meant to not give credence to individuals who have done terrorist acts in the past. We're not going to propagate their rhetoric, their violent rhetoric, and we see no value in putting those individuals' names back out there. We're trying to prevent future acts from happening again, and for cowards like this one, people like that influence them, so we're not going to continue to put their names out front.
Welcome back. Attorney General Loretta Lynch and Ron Hopper of the FBI going to great lengths to explain why they released a redacted version of those transcripts of the 911 call made by the Orlando terrorist Omar Mateen. But then just 4 hours later, after some pushback from the public and House Speaker Paul Ryan, the DOJ changed course and decided to release the entire transcript. This raises a lot of questions about why they even tried to keep part of this record under wraps in the first place. Remember, you can join the conversation too. You can call us at 877-NEWSMAX. That's 877-639-7629. All right, let's welcome back in presidential historian Craig Shirley, also senior partner of John Zogby Strategies, John Zogby himself, and back with us as well, political commentator and attorney Sam Nunberg. All right, gentlemen. Sam, if you wanted to finish your thought there before we had to go to commercial break, I wanted to give you an opportunity to do that.
Oh, I just wanted to say very quickly, I believe John's point was that he thought it was good that they fired Corey today on a Monday, and I don't think that there's ever anything good about that. If they had come to this decision, which I've heard that they have, it should have been done either quietly on Friday or on the weekend. And I, by the way, I can tell you, John, as you well know, having been somebody where my firing by Mr. Trump was well publicized, I don't wish that on anyone. So.
Yeah, well, that was an ugly incident. But Sam, you lived to tell the tale, and we're glad to have you with us.
Yes,
now, let's go back to this gun control issues and really what happened with the transcript today. Some conflicting information. Sam, when you see the DOJ change course so quickly, why do you think this was public pressure that forced them to do this?
Oh, it definitely was public pressure, 100%. Look, this is political from the get-go. What you had is you have a president who seems to be more upset at Republicans and at our nominee of our party when it comes to radical Islam and the fact that he doesn't want to say that. You also have somebody who's saying that this had nothing to do with Islam and this has to do with guns, which, I mean, it's almost as if, if you like your doctor, you'll be able to keep your doctor with Obamacare. We're under a threat here, and the president, and they're going to try to use this as politics. And look, this will help Donald Trump, obviously, as it comes, as long as he's able to stay on a cohesive message. All
right, Craig and John, stand by because I want to welcome in Bruce, who is calling us from Vermont. Bruce, great to have you with us. What's your question or comment?
Okay, my comment is congratulations, GOP, Republican Party, for the vote on stopping these gun laws. And basically what it is what they're doing is this gunman himself, that wasn't a fully automatic gun. It's just like my 308 or my 30-06 or my 270 or my 243. They're semi-automatics, or my shotgun. If they ban that, they've got to ban the ones I just said. I got a 22 that's a semi-automatic.
Yeah,
they just can't do that. And you take the town that I'm from, there's probably, out of 800 some odd people that live in it, probably 850 of them own guns.
I'm not surprised, considering you come from Vermont, Bruce, and thanks for that. But Craig, when you look at this issue, Democrats, they seem to have this problem when these types of events take place. They conflate them all into one category, and then they go chasing after these issues that have not worked for them in the past. It seems as if it's almost the definition of insanity, the Democratic approach to dealing with these types of situations.
I don't think it's working, John, but I just want to go back to John's earlier point about Lewandowski being fired. If it's Trump's campaign, he can hire and fire who he wants, but if he's going to fire Corey Lewandowski, he should have done it on a day when he was going to give a major policy speech so that the attention would be focused on something positive rather than negative in the campaign. With regard to the White House censoring this
But Craig, isn't this supposed to send that message to nervous Republicans that this is something positive?
Taking it to Hillary or talking about the campaign or talking about the convention or something that would be unifying or sending a positive message would be far better than the negative message of firing a campaign staffer. on the issue of the White House censoring the telephone conversations, all during World War II, we never jammed Tokyo Rose. We never jammed the transmissions emanating from Berlin to the Allies. During the Cold War, we never jammed Radio Moscow or stopped TASS or Pravda because our people knew, our presidents and our generals and our allies knew that our people didn't believe it, and the propaganda actually backfired and strengthened their resolve. It didn't frighten the American people that Tokyo Rose was broadcasting, or Berlin Barney, whatever, I can't recall his name at the time now. But the fact is that the free flow of information actually strengthens Western ideas and Western arguments instead of weakening them. It's when we censor things that then people begin to question, maybe there's something that they know that we don't know. Maybe there's something that is wrong with Western civilization that we can't be allowed to know all the facts.
Yeah. John, I want to give you a chance to respond. I mean, playing devil's advocate here, I could say, it's only been 7 or 8 days since the attack took place. The FBI is still investigating the attack. Maybe there's a reason other than the stated one that they need to keep some of this information secret, but then they went ahead and released it. And so, John, what do you think was behind the decision?
Well, obviously there was blowback, and obviously there was a need for transparency here, and they learned that very, very quickly, and they turned around on it, and I think so. They did so wisely. On guns, these votes today had nothing at all to do with passage or failure. They had everything to do with the campaign, and Democrats may have walked away today with a powerful weapon to bring out those liberals and progressives, those Sanders supporters, those African Americans, a few of them, and even some Latinos, few of them, who are just not sold on Hillary yet. So plus they get them out to vote for a Senate and competitive House races as well. So I think it was all about the campaign. Yeah, it makes you wonder if Democrats will stage another one of these votes without any kind of terrorism event like we saw in Orlando. If they're only going to do it, as they continue to do in response to these types of tragedies. If they were really serious about gun control, you think they would not try to time it right after one of these events and then also conflate all of the events together. It just doesn't seem to resonate with people. Let's bring in Keith. Keith wants to talk about gun control and the Democratic attempts to do exactly that. Keith, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. My comment is gun control is not the answer. And, what really ticks me off is just the other day, Bill O'Reilly had Geraldo Rivera on there, and he goes, something's wrong in this country when you can be on the no-fly list and you can go into a gun show and buy a machine gun. Well, that's untrue, and nobody corrects them on this, and here about 6 months, a year ago, Nancy Pelosi comes on a talk show. She said the same thing, or they were interviewing her, and she goes, something's wrong in this country when you go out and buy a machine gun, and nobody corrects them. You can't buy a machine gun. They're illegal. They've been illegal since, the 50s, 60s, or something like that?
You're right, Keith. It just seems as though, if there were somebody within the Democratic Party advising Nancy Pelosi and the rest who often confuse the difference between an AR-15 or the Sig Sauer weapon that was used in the Orlando attack, with actual automatic weapons, if they actually wanted to get anywhere, they might familiarize themselves with the differences between these weapons. And the assault weapons ban in the 1990s was just based on cosmetic stuff as well. Sam?
And well, John, and the funny thing is, somebody who we don't mention ever happens to be the Democrat nominee. Her name's Hillary Clinton, and what she said the other week was that she doesn't agree with D.C. v. Heller, the Supreme Court decision, which said that you have the right to carry arms means you have the right to carry arms, and that the D.C. was not allowed to forbid all gun ownership. So the idea is this a privilege or a right? And as we know, it says it's a right, and I think that the American public, you could say we all want gun control, but what we really want is to afford our rights here, and it's frankly not such a winning issue overall broadly. I know John may disagree with me, Mr. Zogby, but it's not such a winning issue for the Democrats.
And I just want to mention, too, Supreme Court deciding not to take up a case for this appeal on the assault weapons ban that are in New York and Connecticut. The second time they've done that. But, John, go ahead and respond to Sam's comment.
Yeah, we've got to parse these numbers and not think in terms of the percent that is that is pro-gun and the percent that's for gun control. You got to look at what target groups are influenced the most when these issues come up. You also have to consider the intensity level. Generally speaking, gun rights voters have a greater intensity level and drive the issue. Hence, it's not gun control is not usually a winning issue, except during a moment where the intensity level catches up after an Orlando.
And that's why they're doing it now. That's why they're doing it now. But it just
that's why they're doing it now.
They, as you mentioned, it's a symbolic gesture. They just simply want to draw attention to the issue, and it doesn't appear as if there's really the will on behalf of Democrats to get anything done, because they just don't seem to put in the groundwork to get it done. But we'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Pleasure talking to all of you on these issues. And just a reminder, continuing this conversation in just a few moments, I recently sat down with a panel of distinguished Newsmax viewers. We call them our Newsmax community. We talked about a wide variety of topics, including Donald Trump and the gun control issue in the wake of the Orlando terror attacks. You might be surprised what some of these Donald Trump supporters had to say about the issue of the Second Amendment and gun control. Plus, we got Diamond and Silk joining us right after this. We'll talk about Melania Trump and what she could mean to the campaign. We'll be right back.